Students, we will learn new chapter, nuclei. I'll give you introduction to nucleus in this video session. In atomic structure, in the previous chapter, we have learned Rutherford's alpha ray scattering experiment led to the discovery of nucleus. Before Rutherford's experiment, there is no word called nucleus in atomic structure. But after Rutherford scattering experiment, it has confirmed and it has been proved that all positively charged particles are concentrated at the central portion of the atom, and it is said to be nucleus. The nucleus is the discovery of Rutherford, and from alpha ray scattering experiment led to the discovery of nucleus. In this chapter, we will study about properties of nucleus, how is it represented, and what are the constituents of nucleus, and what are the constituent particles, their mass, their charges. Those individual properties of nucleus particles will also be discussed in this topic, and also stability of the nucleus and some important features of nucleus like nuclear fission and nuclear fusion will be learnt under this chapter. Yeah, we know the constituents of nucleus are protons, as we know nucleus is made up of nuclear particles. They are protons and neutrons. The nucleus is being represented with atomic number and mass number and neutron number. Atomic number is denoted with Z. Mass number is denoted with A, and neutron number is denoted with N. And the standard notation of nucleus is symbol of element, atomic number Z, mass number A. This is the standard symbol how you can represent a nucleus. Z is atomic number, which is equal to number of protons in the nucleus. Number of protons in the nucleus is said to be atomic number, and whereas mass number is the total particles of the nucleus, that is total constituents of the nucleus, is equal to mass number. Based on atomic number and mass number, you can classify nucleus into different types. And the constituents of nucleus are said to be nucleons. Each nucleon is made up of subnuclear particles called quarks. A proton is made up of quarks. A neutron is made up of quarks. Quarks are subnuclear particles. So if you consider a nucleus, in the nucleus there are many protons and as well as neutrons. Say if this is a proton, in that proton there are again subnuclear particles called quarks. Here is a proton, subnuclear particles with quarks, this one, this one, this one, like that. There are many nuclear particles within the nucleus. Based on the nucleus, based on this proton number, you will be writing atomic number Z. Likewise, along with protons, there are other constituents present within the nucleus. It is say neutron. Neutron is also made up of 3 quarks. The quarks are subnuclear particles of the present nucleon. So total number of protons and neutrons sum up to give mass number A. Mass number is sum of all the constituents of proton and as well as neutrons present within the nucleus. So every neutron is made up of quarks, and it is made up of one up quark and two down quarks. Up and down are the names of quarks. They too have fundamental charge. So neutron is made up of one up quark and two down quarks, whereas a proton is made up of one down quark and two up quarks. So a neutron can be represented with one up, one down and one down quark, whereas a proton, it is represented with one down quark and two up quarks. So each constituent of a nucleus is said to be nucleon. Nucleon is also having subatomic particles called quarks. Quarks are again made up of strings, and about those fundamental nuclear particles you will be learning in nuclear physics in higher standards. But time being, we will be learning only about protons and as well as neutrons. We consider them as the fundamental particles of the nucleus. And a proton is said to be nucleon, and a neutron is also called as a nucleon. Nucleon are the number of, like, nucleon is just a constituent of nucleus. So that is how you can classify nucleus based on their atomic number, mass number, and based on their neutron number. So as we already have learned that any nucleus have atomic number and mass number. Atomic number is equal to number of protons. Mass number is equal to number of nucleons. Nucleon is, it may be either a proton or a neutron. Based on the number of constituents present within a nucleus, you can classify nucleus into different types. They are isotopes, isotones, isobars, and isomers. These are the four different types of nucleus which can be classified into. The first category is isotopes. An isotope is that atomic nuclei which have same atomic number but different mass numbers, and such nucleus are called isotopes. So atomic nuclei having same atomic number but different mass number. They occupy same position in the periodic table and possess identical chemical characteristics. They have same chemical properties, only the thing is the number of nucleons are different for same atomic nucleus. Say for example, you have lithium, atomic number is 3, mass number is 6. And there is another lithium whose atomic number is 3 but mass number is 7. So if you are calculating number of neutrons present within these two lithium atom, here number of neutrons, neutron number is equal to mass number minus atomic number. In the first case it is 6 minus 3 which is equal to 3, and in the second case it is 7 minus 3 which is equal to 4. Therefore, in isotope, when we are dealing with isotope, the number of protons per two atomic nucleus are same, but the number of neutrons are different. Their mass numbers are different, so now obviously number of neutrons are different. In this there are only 3 neutrons, and in this there are 4 neutrons. Likewise, hydrogen has 3 isotopes. Atomic number is 1 in all the 3 cases. 1 here, only 1 proton it has, but the number of neutrons are different. So number of proton here is 1 proton and 1 neutron sum up to give a nucleon, and 1 proton and 2 neutrons sum up to give mass number 3. So that is about isotopes. Likewise, there are not only lithium isotope and hydrogen isotope, there are many other isotopes for different elements. Next is isotones. Isotone is that atomic nuclei having same number of neutrons. Those elemental nucleus which have same number of neutrons are said to be isotones. Now if you observe this and this, these two elements, its atomic number is 17, its atomic number is 19. These are different atomic numbers and different mass numbers. Okay, if you calculate number of neutrons, in the first case, number of neutrons will be equal to 37 minus 17, which is equal to 20. Whereas in this second element, it is 39 minus 19, which is equal to 20. Therefore, number of neutrons in this element and number of neutrons in this element are equal. Therefore, those elements, even though they have different atomic number and mass number, if the number of neutrons present in such elements, elemental nucleus, are equal, they are said to be as isotones. And next is likewise you can take these all are isotones. N717, O818 and F919. These all are isotones. These contain same number of neutrons. Likewise, you have isobars, the atomic nuclei having same mass number but different atomic number. They are called isobars and they have same number of nucleons. Nucleons mean total atomic number and total number of nucleons is sum of protons and neutrons. They have equal number of proton and neutron. See here, in this first example, we have argon 1840 and next calcium 2040. Likewise, germanium 3276, like this. So if you observe carefully, mass number is 40 here, mass number is 40. Mass number is 76, mass number is 76. Same mass number but different atomic number. Such atomic nuclei are called isobars. And the next category is isomers. Atomic nuclei having same mass number and same atomic number but different nuclear properties are called isomers. Their atomic number are same, their mass number is same, but they have different nuclear properties. Say for example, we have these two elements. Atomic number is 80, atomic number is 35, atomic number is 35. Mass number is 80, mass number is 80. But the chemical and the properties of these two nucleus are different, right? So isomers are those atomic nuclei having same mass number, same atomic number, but different nuclear properties. These are the four different types of categories where nucleus can be categorized into. Isotopes, same atomic number but different mass number. Isotones, same number of neutrons but different atomic number and mass number. Isobars, same mass number but different atomic numbers. Isomers, same atomic number, same mass number but different nuclear properties. Every nucleus has some radius. We generally denote it with R. R is nuclear radius of that particular nucleus. As we know, any given nucleus will have atomic number and as well as mass number definitely. Now we need to calculate size of the nucleus. So it is observed that like the size of the nucleus is observed from it is experimentally found to be 10 power minus 15 meter, which is 1 Fermi. And this is calculated from Rutherford's alpha ray scattering experiment. From his experiment, we have observed that the nuclear size is in the range of 10 power minus 15 meter, which is called as 1 Fermi. And in this 1 Fermi size, there will be many number of protons and as well as neutrons. And they all are called nucleons. And the size of nucleus depends upon its radius, and the radius of the nucleus depends upon its mass number. So radius of the nucleus is directly proportional to mass number a power 1 by 3. You can write it as r naught into a power 1 by 3. This is equation for radius of the nucleus. R is equal to r naught a power 1 by 3. So this can be obtained by this basic equation. As we know, volume of nucleus is directly proportional to mass number. More are the constituents of nucleus, its volume goes on increases. So volume of the nucleus is supposed to be spherical, therefore we will be taking it as 4 by 3 pi r cube, which is directly proportional to mass number A. And from here r cube is directly proportional to 3 by 4 pi into mass number A. R directly proportional to 3 by 4 pi a power 1 by 3. And if I remove this proportionality, I should include a constant. That constant I am denoting it with r naught, which is a power 1 by 3. So atom nuclear radius is equal to r naught into a power 1 by 3, and r naught is a constant which is equal to 1.4 into 10 power minus 15 meter. R naught is constant value, and it is constant for all the nucleus. Its value remains same. It's nearly 1.4 into 10 power minus 15. In some textbooks they will be giving you it as 1.5 also into 10 power minus 15. 10 power minus 15 order is remained same because it is in the range, like it is, its nucleus order should be always 10 power minus 15. So R naught value, it's in the order of 10 power minus 15. So radius of nucleus is in the order of 10 power minus 15 meter, but whereas in case of size of atom, it is of order 10 power minus 10. So atomic size is 10 power 5 times greater than the size of nucleus. Now let us calculate distance of closest approach of an alpha particle from an atomic nucleus. Let me take a nucleus here. This is a nucleus, and it's a center. And let me consider that an alpha particle is approaching towards the nucleus. This is an alpha particle, and this alpha particle have some charge, and obviously this nucleus has atomic number Z. So when this alpha particle, as alpha particle is positively charged particle, nucleus is also positively, it too consists of positive charged particles, protons. So when alpha particle is coming closer, as it approach towards the nucleus, when it comes over here, it will come to certain position, and then from there it returns back. And this closer distance to which the alpha particle is approached towards the nucleus is said to be distance of closest approach, and this is d. Why is this alpha particle coming only up to that particular range and it is returning back? It's because when the alpha particle is in motion, it will have some kinetic energy, right? So let me consider kinetic energy of alpha particle is half into mass of alpha particle into velocity of alpha particle whole square. This is V alpha. That's kinetic energy of alpha particle. When the alpha particle is at far distance, between this positive charges, there is a repulsive force, and that repulsive force will be increased if these two positive charged particles are coming closer. Even though nucleus is being in its own position, alpha particle is approaching towards it. As a result, the separation between those two decreases. If the separation between two charged particles decreases, the force between them increases, resulting in increase of potential energy, because we have equation for potential energy between two charged particles as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 divided by separation between them. R is separation between two charged particles. So when the alpha particle is coming closer, repulsive force increases. As a result, the velocity of alpha particle goes on decreases. So when it is approaching towards the nucleus, its kinetic energy decreases and its potential energy goes on increases. At some particular situation, there comes a situation where it attains stability such that kinetic energy of alpha particle magnitude will become equal to potential energy of alpha particle from the nucleus. So kinetic energy magnitude and potential energy magnitude becomes equal. So kinetic energy can be written as K alpha, which is equal to potential energy between the nucleus and this alpha particle is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q1 is charge of alpha particle, that is 2 times charge of the proton, and Q2 is charge of this nucleus, it is Z times E divided by separation between those two. I am considering it as D, where D is distance of closest approach. I can just bring this D to the other side. D is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 times Z E square divided by K alpha, where K alpha is kinetic energy of alpha particle. You can substitute that even here. It gives you 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 ZE square divided by half mass of alpha particle into velocity of alpha particle whole square. This gives you distance of closest approach of alpha particle from the nucleus. And I am writing here 2 because the charge of alpha particle, charge of this alpha particle is 2 times charge of the proton. That's the reason why I have taken charge of this proton, charge of alpha particle as Q1, which is 2 times that of proton. And the charge of this is Q2, which is as many, like how many number of protons will be there, it is equal to Z number of protons. Charge of each proton is E. So that I have substituted here. So finally I have got equation for distance of closest approach for the alpha particle from the nucleus. Students, we have learned nuclear size, and when we are calculating nuclear size, you need to be noted that radius of the nucleus R is equal to R naught into A power 1 by 3, and R naught value, it is nearly equal to 1.2 to 1.4 into 10 power minus 15 meter. And this changes from like 1.2 to 1.4. In some textbooks they'll give 1.2, in some textbooks they'll give 1.4, sometimes they'll give 1.3. That depends upon like measurement of that particular constant. So you can always take it as a fixed value. You just take it as 1.2 or 1.4. And this does not make any sense because always it is multiplied with a constant 10 power minus 15. And this 10 power minus 15 is even multiplied with A power 1 by 3. So maximum A value will be nearly 290 or nearly 300 or 320 or 315. That's it, not more than that. And that is raised to power 1 by 3. And it is multiplied with 10 power minus 15. So therefore, size of the nucleus is nearly of order 10 power minus 15 meter, or you can call it as 1 Fermi. And when we are calculating nuclear density, as we know, density is equal to mass by volume. Mass is mass of the nucleus. Volume is volume of the particular nucleus. So if you calculate density, mass of the nucleus is total mass number multiplied with mass of each nucleon divided by volume of the nucleus is 4 by 3 pi into r cube. This is equal to am divided by 4 by 3 pi. R can be written as r naught into a power 1 by 3 whole power 3. This is rho can be written as am divided by 4 by 3 pi r naught power 1 by 3 into a, sorry, r naught power 3, not, it is r naught power 3 into a power 3 by 3. 3 by 3 will become 1. This a and a gets cancelled. It is m divided by 4 by 3 pi r naught whole power 3. M is equal to nucleon mass. And 4 by 3 is constant, r naught is also constant. 4 by 3 pi r naught whole power 3 is also constant. There are no variables. Therefore, density of the nucleus is constant. It's not depending upon either mass number. It's not depending upon atomic number. So density of all the nucleus will be same. And if you calculate this approximately, you will be getting density in the order of 10 power 18 kg per meter cube, which is very, very large value. Density of water is 1 gram per cc. It is 1000 kg per meter cube. So density of nucleus is 10 power 15 times greater than density of water. So density out of like all matter in the world, the density of nucleus is the maximum value. It's of order 10 power 18 and that will be fixed. All nucleus have same density. Just like how its size is in the order of 10 power minus 15, all nucleus do have same density. Density of uranium nucleus is of order 10 power 18, and density of hydrogen atom is of order 10 power 18. Density of lithium, sodium, chlorine, any atom, it will be order of 10 power 18. That's remained constant.